Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today we're going over King Kong.
I know, dude. I'm excited. I finally watched this on DVD. It was amazing.
DVD?
Yeah, DVD. Why?
You didn't go watch
Well,
it?
actually, it was on Blu-ray, so never mind. Sorry, Blu-ray, you guys.
Higher quality, but you didn't go to the theaters to see it?
Well, yeah, I saw this movie in theater like a long time ago when he came out. Peter Jackson's King Kong. You said King Kong. You were not specific.
There's
on
literally
what
King Kong came out today.
did.
Yeah. You know what? Right back. We're gonna go watch it, I guess. Gotta hate you sometimes. Listen up, Rangers. We're back.
You made me spend money, you guys. It's not cool.
Hey, if I gotta spend money, you got it too.
Bad enough I just bought a new Blu-ray of Peter Jackson's King Kong, and now I had to buy this too.
Well, at least they have that ultimate version with all the deleted scenes now.
I don't need
So you got
another
that going for
hour
it.
of them running through an island.
There's the city too. He has to climb the building and fall down and go boom.
I actually appreciate this movie for him not dying in a city.
Yes. Thank freaking God. So today we're going over the legendary King Kong, Kong Skull Island. Which, if you guys haven't seen it, we're not going to talk about spoilers yet. There will be spoilers later. We'll bring it back up when we start talking about spoilers. We'll just go over it briefly just to, for you guys that haven't seen it yet, so you can get our opinion on it. And then we're just going to gush. Alright, so for the plot of the movie, it's pretty simple. You have John Goodman's character who works for Monarch, and he also is working with a geologist. Or so he says. Where they
secret what he is.
Yeah. But they try to they're trying to get funds in order to do a expedition to a new uncharted island. And stuff happens. They get a hold of it, and then they pick up Tom Hiddleston along the way, Samuel L. Jackson, who is a war veteran, and goes along with their escort because it's during the Vietnam era. Vietnam's getting over with. So they their last little hoorah is to go and check out Skull Island. And of course, it doesn't go according to plan.
But everything always goes according to the plan, according to the Joker.
I'm pretty sure every time you hear Kong, something's crashing on an island. All the time. Well, okay, I guess technically Peter Jackson, like the original, they didn't really crash. It's just kind of like, oh crap, once they passed the gate. Everything went downhill from there. And just to sum up for this review, for the plot, I personally enjoy it, though it is a pretty shallow plot, to be honest.
Don't tell him yet.
We'll get into it a little bit, but it's what you expect out of these movies, because it's a giant monster popcorn flick. I'm not there for the most complicated plot ever. I just want something to progress me into the giant monster fights. And it does it well. It does it very well.
Super well.
But when you sit there and us watching this, trying to analyze it and find things to talk about with the movie, that's when you start finding all the little flaws.
Don't think about it, man. Just watch it. Trust me.
But it's one of those movies you shut off your mind, you're good to go. Because other than a few, most of these people are just caricatures. Like you have angry war veteran, you have the guy that's good at everything, you have the camera girl that's the love interest, you have the crazy guy. They all play a specific role, but not characters.
Yeah, like he was saying, the one thing is there's no consequences to these characters. Like, what happens to them just happens, and nobody seems to care about it at all.
Yeah, because, again, they're pretty much throwaway characters. But they also spend time on some of these characters in order to them just be, again, just there for the sake of they need those kind of roles filled in the movie.
Well, I think they were, more trying to make you, feel for them. But it didn't happen for me. I just laughed most of the time.
Yeah, some of the serious situations were a little more comical in this.
Because I remember one scene happened and everyone in the movie theater was like, oh, and I was like, and guy sitting next to me, he looks at me, he was like, you're a monster. I was like,
no, he's on the screen.
It's like he's up there.
But for some of the big things about this movie, Kong is awesome. Every scene with Kong is amazing. Amazing. Even with other monsters and stuff, because you get to see, not spoiling it, because we talk about the toys are on the channel.
When we were doing a review of Kong, we remember the figure, and then we were talking about his butt. There's that one scene that showed his butt. I was like, that's the first thing I thought was a review of the figure.
Yeah, you get to see all of Kong. Which I like how Kong's a male, but there's like nothing.
It's just gone.
It's just gone. But yeah, like you have like the bamboo spider scene's really cool. Like the little pterosaurs, whatever they are in the movie, those are pretty neat. There's also some other stuff in the movie that they don't really show very well in the trailer, so I'm not going to bring it up, but it's awesome as well. And the action scenes and the special effects are really good. Directing's a little weird with these scenes, though.
I thought it was directed from Resident Evil.
Yeah, there's like pretty much any time they could really toss in a slowdown scene, they did. Oh boy, did they. But it doesn't really hurt it any of those still. It's just more of like a personal thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, like it's still, the scenes are great. It's just one of those like, did you really need to slow down that many times while the helicopters are painting? Because you think it was like for the trailer when like they slow down like when it hits Kong and then the helicopter speeds up and then slows down. Nope, that's the movie. That is the movie.
Or like the explosion part, that was really unnecessary, you know.
Yeah.
I did not need to see the slow motion explosion so I can see one guy get knocked out.
Co-produced by Michael Bay.
Wah, wah, wah. I'm surprised there was no buildings falling or something in there.
But it's just, well, there's some destruction of stuff.
Surprised I did not see that boat that they made transform into something too.
Oh, I'm hearing a missing part of my spleen. So for the movie, I would recommend it to you guys.
Definitely.
It's a really fun flick. I'm not going to say it's better than 2014.
In his opinion.
The pacing and the plot was a little bit better. And since it focused on less people, you got to appreciate more of the characters better. Which is saying something because we even had a problem with the characters in that movie too.
I hated that main character.
Like Ford has a little bit better motivation for what he's doing than pretty much everybody in this film.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 5 times the amount of money was not good enough motivation for you to go on a random island where he himself stated you're gonna die?
It's good enough.
Or 3 different sources told me the same story, so I have to go here because something is off.
Though I guess technically John Goodman and Bryan Cranston kind of had the same motivation, but at least they showed why he was crazy. While in this movie they kind of just were like, something happened. This is how it is. So yeah, go watch it. If I had to like give it a scale, I'd say it was like a B.
I liked it
was
more
B-ish.
probably than Steve did. Maybe a little bit more than Steve did. So I'll say at least like A minus B plus.
It's like I'd go see it again. But definitely go see it. Like IMAX 3D was awesome.
I just watched it in IMAX, so.
Yeah, because the 3D really helps to give you like added depth. So it really helps to like convey the scale of the monsters and also show like distances a lot better. So you really got a sense of how big everything was in the movie. Because it's like some movies, like the 3D's, like it's cool, but it's not really necessary. Like it could be throwaway.
Whoa,
like
wait.
just some cool like pop-out moments.
What are you talking about? That my favorite 3D movie ever is that My Bloody Valentine with Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
Jensen Ackles?
Yeah. It was so amazing.
Well, yeah, well, it's like the apple pops out at you and stuff. Like, it was like traditional horror. Well, it's like, I remember when I went and saw The Phantom Menace in 3D, that was just hot garbage.
Wait. Didn't we watch, what's his name? One with the Kraken on 3D, and we was like, oh my god.
I didn't see that.
No, it was you, me, and...
No, I didn't go to that one. I haven't seen any of the Clash of the Titan movies. And at least in theater.
Then what the hell? What movie did you and me go watch in 3D that was garbage?
I've seen a lot of action movies. Like I've seen the Transformers in 3D, which were like it's okay. But like I love these giant monster movies when they're in 3D. Because again, it really helps to show like size, depth, and gives you like some perspective. So definitely if you're gonna go see it in 3D. Like IMAX preferably.
Definitely IMAX. You have to enjoy all the hairs in Kong.
Also, real quick before we get into spoilers, there's an end credit scene. Wait around to the end of the credits. It's worth it. But okay, now we're going to get into the spoiler talk area. We're just going to talk about the movie now. So if you've seen it, you can get a little bit better perspective on the issues that we have with the movie and what we really loved about the movie. So if you haven't seen it, now is the time to stop.
Samuel Jackson dies, damn it. He dies.
You're supposed to give him like a brief period.
He dies. Kong likes Asian food and squids and noodles. Not acceptable. Every time you think Kong is gonna die or he's in danger, he just stomp his way through. Literally.
He stops a lot of things in this movie.
Okay, I feel better now. Go ahead, Steve.
Cool. Alright, so first we're gonna just pretty much try to progress our way through the
John
movie.
Goodman dies, damn it.
Everybody dies. Which is alright, so my one thing that I loved and also complained about is a lot of people die in this movie. Thing I love is it was way more violent than I ever expected it to be.
Oh god, yeah. It was so cool.
Like people lose limbs, they get swallowed. The one monster's literally puking up the guy's bones, the skull crawler. That's when they find the dog tags. Like, that was cool. One guy gets impaled by the bamboo spider's leg.
And then just
that was straight up horror movie right there.
It goes through his mouth. Like, you can see it going in his body, and when it pulls the leg out, you can see it come out.
Yeah, it was, oh. And then when it, webs the one guy, starts pulling him up, it was a horrifying scene. Like, it actually made these giant monster scenes actually kind of scary, and I love it. Like, especially for, watching other people's reviews and, going into it, I thought it was going to be, lighthearted. Like, the trailer, you got, John C. Reilly just, cracking jokes all the time. I wasn't really expecting that. And it was refreshing.
It was good.
But, my issue is with the characters dying, and we talked about it previously, is how, there's no real, there's no reason why they had to die, other than for the sake of dying, and then they just kind of, they don't bring it up. It's just glanced over at that point.
They die, and they're like, oh, okay, that's cool story. Move on, next character.
Yeah, they built up Billy. Billy's one of the main characters I can remember, because they talked about, he wants to go back to see his kids, he's writing that note, and then he gets eaten by a skull crawler.
Well, it's they try to make you feel for him, like it's his kid's birthday. He was supposed to make it in time. He's not. He's writing Billy a note, make him, apologize, blah, blah, blah. And,
yeah, the joke's on the ship.
And he just dies. There was, nothing. He just dies, and we're moving on to the next scene.
Yeah, and then, Samuel Jackson wants to go find him, but it's, even when, his name's brought up, and they find his, letter nailed to the side of, the bamboo or whatever, it's just kind of I'll bring it back, and then bam, that's it.
Yeah,
we don't bring up Billy. Don't worry about it.
Another one of the characters, he was telling this story where you're supposed to feel bad for him about the war, why he uses AK instead of M16, all this cool stuff. You get to feel for him. He's slow character, everything just flies right past him, and he's they're being chased by skull crawlers. He's guys, go ahead. I got this. I'll protect you. I'll buy you some time. And then he just dies. The most stupidest way, too. He pulls 2 grenades and a skull crawler hits him with a tail and he explodes inside of a mountain.
That part was awesome. I love, too, how it slowed down. It was supposed to be emotional, but
that's the part
I thought it was hilarious.
Where he died and everybody was oh, and I was just laughing my head off.
There was that one, and then John Goodman's character when he dies. When he gets eaten by the skull crawler, trying to get his camera working, and it starts flashing inside of his stomach, and I'm that's cool, and I like how intense it makes it, but it's also goofy as shit.
That is one character. I expected a lot of people to die, including Samuel Jackson, because I knew he was going to be the bad guy, but I did not expect John Goodman to die. Yeah,
and then even his character, too. It's just there's some weird motivation. Well, I kind of understand his motivation, but motivation is platoon, but just a sec. But even when they get to there and he gets crushed, that's it. You don't get time. Nothing else is brought up. It's just he dies. Moving on to the next scenes. And that's it. Which I wish there was maybe a little bit more build for some of the stuff. It could have maybe done a little bit better. Because again, for the plot, we talked about how it was a little bit more of a throwaway. And some stuff is confusing, not really explained that well. It works for the pacing and you're not bored. But for instance, Samuel L. Jackson's character, where he's pretty much motivated because he wants to fight. The war's ending, what's this even for? What am I going to do with all these medals?
It's not
I
true,
can't
Steve.
go back.
He wants revenge on all those dead bodies that got killed by Kong.
Sure, I'm pretty sure it's just for him. Because even again, he has motivation because he's I'm going to get revenge for all these people. But then even when Billy dies, he don't care. He wants to fight and take out Kong. And I get the motivation, right? Okay. He's a douchebag. I get it. But then it's like, alright, so when you have his platoon following him, because you have like two little side stories. Because you have the main characters and finding out more about Kong, and you have the other guys trying to go kill Kong. So when they go off and go try to take out Kong, you get like some idea that they're not fully on board with Samuel L. Jackson's plan, but they're like, okay, we're going to go save Billy. It's like a rescue mission. Understand? We want to go and we want to avenge our fellow comrades too.
No, since like the beginning of the movie, they didn't want to go. Like that was like stated. They were like, I want to go back home. I want to go to the beach, relax, whatever. They didn't want to go and do this mission.
When we get to the point where Billy dies and they find out that Billy dies, and Samuel L. Jackson's like, we need to go get those munitions. Who cares? Like, we have a plan. We have a goal. And yet, everybody from that point on, I think it would have made for a much more interesting story if everybody would have turned on him then.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson just went along by himself. It would have made it harder for him to set up all those explosions and stuff by himself. Like, understandably. Maybe like a couple of people went along with him and they could have more people that were more on board with him. Like, for instance, the guy that blew himself up would have been a great choice because, again, like everybody's like, I think the guy's off his rocket. Like, one guy's like, hey, he's our commander. Yeah, he's the one that just goes off. Like, But, so I think it would have been made more sense for everybody to kind of turn on him there instead of everybody starting to turn on him when they're fighting, like, in the middle of trying to kill Kong. Like, that didn't make much sense to me. But it made sense when like Samuel L. Jackson's still trying to blow up Kong while the Skullcrawler is about to attack. Again, like his character motivation made sense, but everybody else around him was a little bit confusing.
I gotta be honest, I didn't expect him to die that way. I was expecting him to get eaten by a Skullcrawler and then he exploded inside of him and did some damage to him,
I kind of did, mainly because almost everybody's quick deaths in that movie. Like, everything's quick. If somebody dies, it's like squish, thrown out, or cut away. Like, even like the bamboo spider is one that stands out in my head because they actually like sat on that guy impaled for a second. Everybody else is like, when Billy gets eaten, it cuts away. When most people get stepped on, like Samuel Jackson's, awesome still.
Kicked in the side of a mountain exploding.
Yeah, and the guy getting taken away by the pterodons getting like cut in half.
Oh, that was a cool part.
Yeah, I like that. But that was one of those ones that at least they were like, but what about him? Like, he's gone. Like, but he's still just like flapping away.
I can't get a shot. If I ever get taken away by birds, Steve, just fucking shoot me, okay? Just shoot me. End my life.
Do I need the birds?
No, just, you leave the birds. Have them have their dinner. Yeah. They already got me. I was stupid enough to stand on like boat like Titanic. Yeah. Stupid. And then another thing, they never explain what's inside of the briefcase. I wanna know. If that briefcase was so important to that guy where he would hold on to instead of a gun to protect his life, it must have been something important.
Yeah, like the motivation of this movie. Like, it makes not a whole lot of... Like, it makes sense. But I wish there was more to it, which it might have helped if there was less characters to really focus on, because there's a lot in this movie. There's a lot of characters, like a Dragon Ball Z movie. Which, I feel like that's where it has the problem of the light plot, because you have so many freaking people and same with characters. Like, you don't have an entire TV show to build up on every single one of these characters. You have a 2-hour movie to do it in. That's why it falls a little short. But it's like, Tom Hiddleston's character is there because money. And he's the good character. He's like the badass because of what happened in the pool, like the barroom scene. That's really the only thing you know, like, he's capable, and from what you hear. But after that, it's just like, and then he's good at everything he does.
Which, he didn't need to be good at every single thing, dude.
Yeah, it's like he's a tracker. Is he going to know how to use a katana?
Yeah. God, I hated that part. Slow down. Yeah. No, stop slowing down.
Like I said, there's weird camera shots. It works. It's just...
That was cool in Matrix time. It's not Matrix anymore, man.
Touche. I swear, it's like the guy that directed Alien vs. Predator in the Resident Evil movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought we were done with you, damn it. I haven't watched your last Resident Evil movie. What more do you want from me? Go away.
And like the Navy guys, like, you understand, they're there because they're ordered to. John Goodman, I feel like, is the guy that is the one that you understand fully why he's on that island. Even though I wish they would have maybe showed like what happened beforehand with the boat. Because he explains like later on that he was attacked on a boat. and he was the only one that survived.
Out of 1,000 people. 1,000, right?
Yeah. And they were attacked by a monster. And he's trying to prove that there's monsters. And you assume that monster is Godzilla. Now, I think it would have been really cool to actually have showed that scene at the beginning. Maybe over John C. Reilly. But then I guess it kind of hurt his character, though, then. Like, his character, like, you understood why he's on the island. Like, he actually had the best character development, was John C. Reilly's.
Yeah, he did out of everyone.
Yeah, but maybe they could have, like, tied both in together, like he crash lands and the boat happened at the same time. Or maybe that was the reasoning. Like, you could have maybe worked it out a little more.
Oh, God, dude, that part made me cringe when he pushed his sword and he was holding it. Like, I can feel him cutting his fingers off.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, God, no.
No, the beginning was cool. I wish I knew more. I want to know more how they became friends.
That is a movie I would actually pay to go watch. I want to see the 6 years where they were friends. I want to see what happened in that part.
Well, it's not even 6 years. Like, he was on the island for, like, what was it, 20-something years?
Yeah, but he was talking about, like, the 6 years that they were friends or something.
No, they were building they spent 6 years building that boat.
Yeah, that's the part I wanted to see, is them building the boat.
Yeah, and then, like, find out what happens with him and the Skullcrawler.
I want to see Gilligan's Island 2.0.
Yeah, like, that'd be a cool movie. And then they spend a lot of time focusing on, like, all the army guys here and there. But you also, like, you have to spend time with Tom Hiddleston. You have to spend time with the camera woman. I forget her name. John Goodman's character. You have the
her character
geologist. You have the girl that's the biologist. That's, like, his sort of love interest. Kinda.
Yeah, that camera girl was not that interesting. All the way until the end.
She smiled a lot and took pictures.
Yeah, all the way until the end when she pops out of water and you can see her nipples. I was like,
success. This movie did something.
It was successful.
And then a couple issues with the plot points, I guess, when watching it, and I think maybe it could have been like done slightly better. I wish there was more of an explanation of how Khan's gonna get bigger. Like, they explained that he's young in the movie. Okay, I understand. But I feel like they could have showed us that he's gonna get bigger with that mass grave scene.
Yeah, that was like, his parents looked smaller than he did in that grave.
Yeah, or at least the same size. Because, like, they hide inside one of the Khan skulls to get away from the Skullcrawler. And it's literally the same size as Khan. Like, even maybe smaller. And it's supposed to... Like, again, you're supposed to be like, Khan's gonna get big to fight Godzilla. How is this gonna happen when his parents and, like, everything you showed us of the Khan species is the same size? Even when you bring up the giant Skullcrawler and how it took out his parents, he's the last one, it only stays underground because it's worried about Khan. And yet, it's the same size as the juvenile Khan.
So is he gonna grow or not? Like, I'm confused. How is this tiny Khan gonna fight that big Godzilla? Like,
yeah, and even how did his parents get killed by that thing? If he's gonna grow, and his parents, I imagine, should have been larger. How did that Skullcrawler take them out?
The parents should have just squished it like he squished that squid. Like, that's the size he could have just and been over with.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense trying to build up for Kong versus Godzilla with the imagery that they showed us.
Not unless there was something that was still hiding down there that was bigger than that guy. It's like my only assumption.
It's between that or like radiation or something will have to happen, at least from what I've seen right now, for Kong to get bigger. Like, he's going to have to mutate or something.
Yeah, there's going to be 30 years between, 40 years, so...
Yeah, like, it would have made sense if they would have showed us the bigger Kongs, even just the skeletons, than just what we saw in the movie.
Yeah, to me, the bodies look like the size of a Godzilla's foot. Like, the grave was like he stepped in dirt and that was their grave.
Because you even have the skeletons you saw beforehand, but even that wasn't really...
Yeah, like the ribs.
Arguably as big. So, like, that would have helped a lot. For stuff that I love, again, like, Khan was awesome in this movie.
Anytime he was on a screen, the movie was amazing. Like, beyond amazing.
Especially, like, even at the beginning when he throws the, you see the tree fly, but it's like they're flying, and then they're like, wait, what's that? You see in the background the tree just coming right at them.
Like, they had enough time to pull away. That's one thing that I didn't,
Well, it's like you're kind of, like, dumbfounded, I guess. And then, bam, it happened. Like, crap hits the fan quick. And then when he's taking out the helicopters, crap hits the fan. But yeah, like the water scene with the octopus kraken thing. That part was really sweet. I like how it was like, it looked like it was a dire situation until Khan's like, hey, it's got a hold me. Kill it. Just crushes it. And then proceeds to eat it like spaghetti.
That was amazing.
It was adorable.
He likes squid and spaghetti at the same time.
We could be friends. Then you have like the couple of scenes where you see him like having confrontations with smaller skull crawlers. Those are cool. I wish there was a little bit more, I guess, more stuff around that. Like more story build up other than just like showing us. That stuff was there to show us what he does on the island.
Yeah, like he can't leave them out for too long or they'll get bigger and then... So the question is that I had is how fast do the skull crawlers grow? Because the way that guy explained it, he's got to hunt them down instantly or if they feed, they'll get big. You know?
Yeah. I imagine it have to be pretty quick.
So it's an island after all. They can't go anywhere else. So what are they going to do? Like,
well, they kind of explain it like they're in that one area. Like that's why you don't go to the west side?
Yeah.
West side of the island, because that's where the skull crawlers are at. That's where Kong keeps going back and forth in order to take him out. I actually liked John C. Reilly's character more than I thought I would. There was one of those, like, some of the jokes he like did fell flat. I think he's kind of like trying to be kooky. But then he has those moments that he's not really kooky. And then he's like sitting there like holding the samurai sword. About to take him out some skull crawlers.
I don't know how I felt about that part.
But I really liked his character though. Like I just when he's on the island, he was pretty enjoyable. Like it was just John C. Reilly and a scraggly beard. But it was still fun. I also like the end too, like at the credits when he goes and meets his wife and kid. And then he finally makes it back and is like fully grown. He gets to have that beer and hot dog. I don't know, that part was nice. That was nice to see. And then that final scene where Colin's fighting the giant skull crawler. Oh, that was a straight up MMA stuff. But like they're getting thrown around. Colin's like back roll into fist punch face.
He even did try to do an elbow drop on the top of the mountain. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, like the fight is awesome. And then you have like he uses like one of the propellers as like a mace, like a ball and chain. It's just like swinging it around, and then the final where he takes on the skull crawler by ripping out its tongue and its stomach.
I was 100% sure that thing was dead when he cut his freaking throat and like up with that thing. I was like, okay, it's dead. And he comes back again one more time. It was like literally like legit scary movie. You know what I'm talking about, like the Scream.
Yeah.
Right, like he always comes back for one more final swing.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. It has a horror element. It's got a comedy. It's like I guess the best way would be like it's more like a horror comedy movie. I feel like it's more along the lines of like Evil Dead. Well, Evil Dead 2, I should say. Where it's got like funny moments, but then it's also got those like tense, scary moments. And then Khan saves the girl. You had to have that one scene.
Which there was no motive for him to actually save her. Like
there's a little bit where
she touched his face. She's like, oh.
Well, he saves that water buffalo thing without having to have any motivation.
Yeah, but they're also the same like creatures, monsters on the island where Kong lives.
And then he saw her trying to help it.
No, he didn't. He didn't see her trying to help. She didn't do squad dilly. She was trying to lift it, and when Kong lifts a helicopter, then he sees her hiding behind it.
Yeah, he looks at her and then he just walks away. He didn't try to her too.
He should have just tried to pee on her.
R. Kelly style, just has it going.
Mark his territory right there and then, and that would have been it.
That would have been amazing. She's
I do like how they bring that thing up. They're like, are we going to be able to fit all these people in a boat? And that never like goes back to it like that part.
Well, yeah, they didn't need to because everybody died. It wasn't a concern anymore. And then finally for the end credits scene where you have them in the interrogation room, they start talking about like the Russians are not getting information, and then you find out it's Monarch's interrogation room. And they're like, Khan's not the only king on this world. And it shows like the hieroglyphics of the other monsters. And then the final where it has Godzilla and King Ghidorah. And then Godzilla roar echoes through the theater. Oh, that was awesome. It was such a goofy, stupid scene, but that was awesome. Because at the beginning, I was like, what the heck's going on? Where he's like talking about like to himself in the dark.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, of course there's more things, but it's just like the inner nerd in me was just like, Yes, 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 yes.
I like how they show King Ghidorah, Rodan, and Mothra, though.
My thing too is like they kind of spoil it if you look at the credits because like right before they get to it, they're like Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, and Rodan are copyrights of Toho. So you're like, but they haven't mentioned. Oh, there they are. But yeah, the end credit scene was cool. I can't wait because Godzilla's. We got another year for Godzilla. 2019. We're waiting for Godzilla 2 right now.
Oh.
Yeah, because we don't get Pacific Rim till next year. Sad day. But yeah, again, movie's awesome. I enjoyed it. Not like the greatest monster movie ever, but it's definitely fun. For sure. Like, I'm glad I bought the toys. I'll buy it when it comes out. I'll rewatch it. It's a very rewatchable movie. More so than I would say, like, Shin Godzilla is definitely the better movie. For sure. But I could see me popping this one into the DVD player more. But what do you guys think? Have you guys seen Kong Skull Island? Please let us know in the comment section below. And help us defeat those kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, and comment range today. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.